For most Minecraft players, caves eventually stop being interesting. Early on, they're scary. You're low on gear, light is limited, and every sound feels dangerous. But once you've played long enough, caves become routine. You grab torches, dig efficiently, collect resources, and leave. The underground turns into a solved problem rather than an unknown space. From the caves exist to completely break that comfort. Instead of adding new ores or huge biomes, the mod focuses on how caves feel. It turns the underground into a place that feels aware of you, like something is watching and reacting to your presence. You're no longer just exploring, you're intruding. The longer you stay underground, the stronger that feeling becomes, and it never fully goes away.
That scared the shit out of me. Holy fuck.
The central idea behind the mod is that there is something in the caves that doesn't behave like a normal Minecraft mob. It isn't another enemy you can just fight and forget about. Once it's active, it becomes a persistent presence in your world. It doesn't attack constantly. It doesn't always show itself. Instead, it waits. That waiting is what makes it unsettling. Long stretches where nothing happens start to feel tense instead of calm, because you're never sure if you're being followed or watched. At its heart, From the Caves introduces a single stalking entity that haunts the player on the ground's journeys.
Dude, what? There was two of them.
Importantly, this creature is not simply another cave mob. Traditional hostile mobs in Minecraft, spiders, creepers, zombies, exist as a part of the world's ecosystem. They spawn, they attack, they die, and repeat. In contrast, an entity in From the Caves is styled as a sentient, intelligent presence that tracks and interacts with the world around it. This entity follows the player's progress and it escalates its behavior over time, interacts with blocks and objects, such as flipping levers, pressing buttons, opening doors, and even alerting block states. It emerges not just underground, but it can climb towards the surface, suggesting it reacts to a player's action like an awakened force, not a static spawn. These behaviors create an ongoing tension. Players are not just fighting a monster, they are contending with an entity that manipulates the environment itself. What makes this threat different is that it doesn't care how prepared you are. Better armor doesn't solve the problem. Experience doesn't make it predictable. The danger isn't about losing a fight, it's about losing control. You start realizing that being underground for too long feels risky in a way that has nothing to do with mobs or lava. The mod builds this tension slowly. Early on, things are subtle enough that you might not even realize something is wrong. Small moments feel off, but not enough to make you panic. You keep playing, assuming everything is fine. Over time, though, those moments start happening more often. The underground begins to feel unstable. As you keep going, the presence becomes more confident. Events happen closer to you, and they're harder to ignore. By the time you realize how serious the situation is, you're already deep underground and invested in your world. That slow escalation is what makes the horror work. Instead of shocking you right away, the mod lets fear build naturally, which makes it stick. One of the most effective parts from the cave is how it messes with the environment. Minecraft players trust the world to behave in a consistent way. Doors stay closed unless you open them, levers don't flip themselves, your base is supposed to feel safe because you built it that way. This mod quietly breaks that trust. Things start changing without your input. Doors open, mechanisms shift. At first you assume it's your fault. Maybe you forgot something, maybe you misclicked. The doubt is intentional. The mod doesn't immediately prove that something else is responsible, and that uncertainty is what makes it unsettling. Once you realize that environment itself can't be trusted, the underground stops feeling like a space you control. Events in the mod are designed to make you uncomfortable rather than outright kill you. They don't happen constantly, and they don't always result in damage or death. Instead, they show up at the moments that are usually safe or routine. Sleeping, hiding, or returning familiar areas suddenly feels tense. You're left alive but shaken, wondering what just happened and when it might happen again. Because the mod doesn't rely on constant punishment, it avoids becoming frustrating. You're not being trapped in a cycle of dying over and over. You're being pressured psychologically. You can keep playing, but you never feel fully at ease. The fear comes from an anticipation rather than a consequence. Scattered throughout the underground are structures and details that hint a larger story. These places feel old and intentional, like someone else encountered the same things before you did. The mod never explains everything directly. Instead, it lets you find clues and connect them on your own. That approach fits Minecraft perfectly. You're not being told a story, you're uncovering one. These bits of lore make the threat feel real. The entity stops feeling like a random addition and starts feeling like part of the world's history. It suggests that what you're dealing with isn't new, and that the caves have been dangerous long before you arrived. That realization adds weight to every encounter and makes exploration feel riskier. Over time, this changes how you play the game. Caves stop being casual, you don't rush in for resources anymore, you plan more carefully. Sometimes you decide it's better to stay above ground. Long mining trips feel dangerous even when nothing is happening. You listen more closely, you pay attention to small details, you leave sooner than you planned. What's impressive is that this feeling doesn't fade quickly. Even experienced players don't fully adapt to it. The fear doesn't disappear, it just becomes part of how you think while you're playing. That's something very few mods manage to achieve. A lot of Minecraft horror mods rely on a single monster that chases the player. That can be scary at first, but once you understand how it works, the fear fades. This mod avoids that problem by never letting you fully understand what's happening. The presence doesn't follow obvious rules. Sometimes it acts directly, sometimes it interferes indirectly, sometimes it doesn't do nothing. That unpredictability is what keeps the tension alive. You can't optimize against it. You can't fully prepare. All you could do is stay alert and hope you're ready when something happens. In the end, From the Caves doesn't try to turn Minecraft into a traditional horror game. Instead, it brings back a feeling that Minecraft used to have naturally. Fear of the unknown. By turning the underground into a place that feels reactive and hostile, the mod reminds players that not everything in the world exists for their benefit. You're not meant to defeat what's in the caves, you're meant to survive it, maybe learn from it, and eventually decide that going deeper just isn't worth it. Because the longer you stay underground, the more it feels like something down there knows you're not supposed to be there, and it's waiting for you to figure that out.